tonight. This is Lose Weight with Me. This channel is for people who got knee pain, back pain, chronic pain. You don't know where it's coming from. You got a little bit of obesity. You got a lot of obesity. You got the whirlwind on your shoulders. That's why we call it Lose Weight with Me. And we invite you to come in with us. Hit the like button. Let us know where you are coming from. If you're from another country or if you're from here in the United States, let us know. And we will love to know that. Tonight, Thursday night, is our special guest, Michelle Pettis, and she is an educator. She is a philanthropist. She is a scholar. She's a writer. She's a publisher. She's probably quasi famous. We just don't know it yet. She will tell us about it. But she has a wonderful support for those of us who are trying to heal our food journey. And before we let her come on, I want to read to you the Obesity Action Coalition Respect Pledge. I just think it's so wonderful. It says, Respect Pledge that your weight matters, and Expo strives to create an environment in which respect is a top priority. This is very true for our fellowship, Michelle. Respect the different paths and journeys of my fellow attendees. Acknowledge that there is not a one size fits all approach to treating obesity, and personal decisions to addressing or not addressing weight should be free from ridicule. Show my fellow attendees respect whether or not I agree with any opinions they share. Maintain a courteous, decorous, civil attitude with fellow participants. Help create an environment where all participants feel socially, emotionally, intellectually, and physically safe. And I wanted to read this because so many times, as I have had this channel about 2 years, we get people who want to tell us their definition of what I should be doing. And I think, and in other countries, Michelle, people often say the doctors need to help you. Let the doctors help you, or surgery. So, and I thought that was very interesting. So I don't know what's happening in other countries as it relates to weight, but I get that a lot from my Russia, from my Middle Eastern, from my UK. I get that a lot. So I wanted to definitely give the floor over to Michelle. She has written a book called Leaving Large. She's also a TED Talk presenter. So she is an expert in her approach. And I want to tell you the name of it because it's going to blow your mind. It's called Writing Your Way to Your Right Weight. And I think that is so powerful. So thank you for being with us, Michelle, tonight. Take it away.
I am so excited to be here as I am every Thursday night. Well, I think it's been a couple Thursdays. It's been a
I
couple Thursdays
know.
since we've been here. I was traveling and any number of things have been going on, but it's good to be back, and it is good to be grounded, and it's good to
Yes.
be talking to you after coming off of that 8-day Mind Over Meals retreat.
Yes,
Oh my,
yes.
oh my God, that retreat,
That was
that was some stuff,
wonderful.
wasn't it? That was
Was.
some stuff, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, those 8 days of really unpacking the situations and the voices where we might not always, not I won't say we not won't always feel supported, but that are challenging, right?
Yeah.
That are challenging, and getting the language and the skills and the support to be able to recognize when it's a workplace issue, when it's a party issue, when it's a social
Mhm.
issue, when it's a weekend issue, when you're at home, when you're at church. Sometimes when you're just battling the thoughts in your own mind, it's
Yes.
having the tools, and it's having the tools not just to deal with them, but the tools to recognize them, and
Yes.
understanding that these things aren't going to go away.
Yes.
They're always going to be ever present. What's going to be different is your mindset, your belief system, your skill set to be able to manage those things. So once you know how. It doesn't matter what's going on because you know what to do.
Yes.
You know that is what's so powerful. When you know what to do, it doesn't matter what's going on.
And even though I was in the classes, the nights that I weren't in the classes, I was participating in a games activity for adults. And when I tell you, I was struggling and I failed all week. I'm eating after every game. I'm eating chips. I'm eating chips. Now the thing is, chips have 4 grams of sugar, so that's my, oh, I know that I can eat that. And I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. I was like, goodness. And the last 2 nights that I was in there, it gave me so much resolve. And that last night, that morning, we were doing the cornhole and I was eating. And that night, I didn't get any bread. I didn't get any vegetables or something that wasn't really food. And I put a brownie and a half of a pound cake on my plate. And I walked away from my table and I came back and I gave it to my neighbor who was eating lots of desserts. And I got it. And I said, I gave myself grace all week because the awareness that when I'm not at home, I have something in my car that I took with me when I went out of town because they had given it to me. I said, well, just in case I get stressed, I'll have this. I didn't even touch it. When I'm at home in my environment, I take my lunch to the center, I'm good. But in a foreign place, I lost it. But I was able, it took me a few days to grab it back, but the awareness, it taught me, and those things that people were saying, the messages, what are you saying? It came to me. And so that's why you always say it's not a bad thing when we struggle. It gives us a chance to practice and reflect.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and when you're
Yes.
doing something new, sometimes you do have to take a little bit extra time with yourself.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I tell you, and I still lost 5 pounds that week.
That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about. That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about. That's
Okay.
so so you know so here's the thing that's so wonderful about what you said and what you get when you work with me. Just let me say
There
this,
you
what
go.
you get when you
There you
work
go.
with me is that you lost the 5 pounds, but you got something else. You
Yes.
got some understanding. You got some
Yes.
insight into your own self, right? You
Yes.
got some insight into how you interact with your environment.
And I
And
didn't, most of the time when people mess up, they beat themselves up to 20 pounds later. What you have always said to us is give yourself grace. Think about the experience and what did you learn from it. What I learned is that when I wanted to do these games for 2 years, when I'm doing them and doing them well and getting some things, I was excited and stressed because I was doing good. That's what I learned.
hmm
And
yes.
so when we're doing poorly, when I couldn't get out this bed, when I'm
hmm
in this bed for 3 months, when my
hmm
weight was so much, I couldn't even do nothing for myself.
hmm
But now I'm doing everything for myself and
hmm
I'm still scared.
hmm hmm
So I had to give myself some grace, and I'm taking my notes, and I'm, that's why I told you, I said, Michelle, I got to use my visualizations more. I sent you a text message. I said I got to visualize more. I need my affirmations more. Give me my affirmations, because that's what you taught us. VAMP. I'm counting, I'm breathing, I'm counting, but it helped me get through it. And I
Yes.
wasn't gorging all day long. That's another
Mhm.
good thing. I
Yep.
wasn't gorging. And so,
Yep.
in as much as we respect each other's paths, you also really reiterate to us it's important to give yourself grace.
Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes. I mean, and in giving yourself that grace, you unfold to yourself, right?
Yes.
You unfold. It gives you a chance to look at yourself. To what you're doing is you're looking at yourself without judgment, right?
Yes.
So you're looking at yourself without judgment, which allows you to make an assessment, which allows you to evaluate, which is that E in brand new, right? The E, evaluate, ask, think, and just
Yes.
always be thinking, all right, this just happened. What would need to happen for this not to happen, right?
Exactly.
What would be what would I like to happen? What would I like to see happen in the future? What would be a better outcome? Because sometimes it's not until something goes left that we realize that we really want to go right, but we didn't know it. We won't know until we're over on the left hand side. And
Mm,
so then it's okay. I know. Oh, what I want is right, but you don't see it, right? And it's it is just like I was when I think about the relationships that I've been in, right? When I think about the romantic relationships that I've been in, there have been really what I call three defining ones. I have a friend that said, Michelle, you make everything about food. Well, yeah, I do. Uh, but there have been three defining ones. And there was one, this first one, that it took me being in it to know that that's what I didn't want.
yes.
Because I never had it before, right? But
Yes.
that time with this guy's let me know I don't want that. That is that is not for me. But
Yes.
I had to experience
Experience.
the not for me
Yes.
to know what the not for me was, right?
Yes.
Then the next was, now I know what I want. This this shows me what's available to me.
Yes.
This is what I want. I want this kind of treatment. I want this kind of feeling. I want this kind of feeling. Not necessarily I want this guy, but I want this what he represents. Not even what he
Yes.
represents, but what he offers, right? That kind of relationship, right? So here's I know I don't want this. This is what I do want. And then the the last relationship is what was non-negotiable.
Yes.
What was non-negotiable? And so you don't know, some things you don't know until something comes up to give you an opportunity to define it. So until that relationship, I didn't know what was non-negotiable because there had never been an opportunity to test it. So there's the same that now we can create those same silos, if you will, in the way that we deal with food and the way that we deal with emotions and relationships and people and all that. What I what what do I want? What is it that I don't want? And what is it that is non-negotiable?
Yes.
When we sit down and spend some time doing that, right? What's non-negotiable, right? That's what we hear all the time. Boundaries,
Yes.
boundaries, right? Boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And and the thing about boundaries, Daphne, my VA, I kind of glanced at a post that she wrote earlier today. I didn't read the whole thing. I just kind of got the gist of it. But she
Mm-hmm.
talked about her process of rolling into a boundary. She's like, I have this boundary, but you can say that this is my boundary, but that doesn't mean that you get there automatic. You get there as soon as you say it, right? And so
Yes.
maybe you get there 3 days a week, right? Maybe you get there one day a
Yes.
week, and then the next week you're there 2 days a week, and then you might be
Yes.
there 2 days a week for about 6 weeks. But the next week you're there 3 days a week, so you're working toward developing this new muscle because everything that we are looking to do, it is new for us, right? We are learning,
Yes.
we're learning,
Mm-hmm.
and so as we're learning, I mean, it is reasonable. It is reasonable to expect that there will be some mistakes. Because if we already knew how to do it, right? We would do it. We wouldn't need to learn it. We'd already be doing it,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So we have to make some mistakes. We have to mess
Mm-hmm.
up because we don't know how to do it. Whatever it is, right? Whether it's getting all the water in, whether it's getting all the soup in, whether it's identifying what the processed food goes, identifying what we're allergic to, or identifying what the right amount is, identifying what really real hunger is, knowing what it feels like, being able to separate it from frustration or anger, stress, or anxiety, being able to do that. And even oh, you know what I am? I am. I'm not really hungry. What I am is sleepy. I think I'll take a nap. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're so used to doing it. So that is all process. That is all learning, and that's what we do on Monday nights in our free Facebook group. I mean, we have this Zoom call on Mondays where everybody on the call brings their weekend. Yeah, we sit we sit or stand, whatever you're doing, and we talk about how we are navigating this toxic food environment. It's real time, right? And
Oh
so
yeah.
I don't know of any other Facebook group that supports women like that or people like that, right? Losing weight together, where we're on a Zoom and we can talk. And you can post, right? And people can chime in, and that's great. We want to post pictures, we want to give
Mm-hmm.
supportive captions and do all that. But to be able to see somebody face to face if they're on camera, if you want to be on camera, you can. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. But there is something that happens when you have dialogue. There is something that happens when you hear the person talk about what they're actually going through, and you're able to ask the question. And that's what we do on Monday nights. And it is about getting to the root of this emotional eating in a really meaningful way, right? In a way that makes sense, in a way that you can just really touch and feel. And really take an action on in the moment. Take action that day and see some result the next day. So that Monday night group. And you've been in that money group for how long, DebraAnn?
For a year and 5 months.
And how much have you lost?
180 pounds right now.
Big girl,
Yeah.
girl, girl.
Yeah.
I just love hearing you say the numbers. I
Oh
just
yeah.
and so here's the thing, and when I was in California this past weekend, and I was at the Paragon event, what I talked about was that, we have the weight that we have to lose, but we really need to understand that with every pound that we lose, there's an emotion that's wrapped around that pound. There's an
Mhm.
emotion that's wrapped up in every pound. Maybe not even just one emotion, but there's some emotions. There is something that's wrapped around every pound that we have to release from our body. And so I just get so excited whenever you talk about that. But I want to stop talking and hear about all the cool stuff that has been happening with you, because I know you got lots of stuff to share. And we can talk about, man, I'm always gonna be here.
Well, I wanna I realized a little bit ago that a lot of people who watch my channel are desperate, like I was, desperate to lose weight. And I remember a few years back, whenever I would see someone who lost 40 pounds, they would just be looking so different. And I'm like, well, I don't look different. So what I learned about that is that's called social comparison. And you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people. My mother used to always say, if Sally jumped off the Mississippi River Bridge, you going to? No, ma'am. So I I got that. And every time when I go exercise, okay, I walk like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I figured out the first time I tried to do it, it took me 109 steps to walk from this point, 4 corners. So then I realized I could do a little bit better. So then I figured I divided it by 4. So if I go 13.5, 13.5, 13.5, 13.5, I get back to the destination. So now I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 in 3 sets of 13.5, not 4. Isn't
Wow.
that amazing?
Wow.
So
Wow.
and I often say, who is this girl? I when I am sitting here on my bed eating my food and I stop eating when something just says that's enough. And I'm like, who is this girl? Because a lot of people with weight problems, and they may not even be that big, they'll say, I'm a foodie. What do you like to go out to eat? And honestly, even though eating has its purpose, it's natural. We're supposed to want to eat and we're supposed to enjoy what we're eating. We've been marketed to say, hey, want a good time? Let's go eat. And when I learned that by being in your class, it kind of released me because now I understood part of the reason why I go somewhere and want to know what they got to eat is because that's all I hear from TV, radio, billboards. Eat, 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 eat. So being able to enjoy something different, although there might be food, and sometimes I bring my own food too,
Mhm.
even though there is food. So sometimes I do that. But I in December I they had this thing called body composition, and I took it, and then I took it again yesterday. And when I tell you my body mass is going down, all the stuff is going down. My arm, the way it tells you how much your arm weighs, how much your leg weighs, it's going down. Like my right leg was, just to give you an example, okay, in December, my right leg weighed 30.69 pounds. Now it weighs 30.45 pounds. And but my left leg weighed 33.22 pounds. Now it weighs 30.89 pounds. So even though I still have more weight to lose, I never knew I'm still in the 400s. I never knew that I would have this much feel good. I would have this much can do. I told my coach today, I said, Coach, I want to squat. So of course I've been doing it in the pool, and so it's kind of harder not being in the pool. But then after we struggle through that, but he coaches me each step of the way. So we on the bend your knee slightly stage right now. So I said, okay,
Mhm.
coach, let's get on the floor and do some floor exercises. And then as he's making me do all this stuff, I realize it's such a bad idea. I have these things in my head I want to do, but I can do. I did them, and then I got up, from the floor. So being able to do those type of things, I used to get on the floor all the time. Being big didn't bother me. I still could do whatever I wanted to do. But now I'm stronger. I have strength. I have a coach teaching me inner strength. I have my physical coach. I have my mental coach here with you, Michelle. And I'm gonna do I did golf, indoor golf, putt golf, archery, and also the thing with the wood thing with the hole putt. It's like you throw the rice bag into the hole,
Oh, yes, yes.
and
I
I
don't
got
know. I
all,
don't know. I don't know
and
what
I
it's
got a
called, but I know what you're
trophy.
talking about.
Yes, I got the
Mhm.
trophy. It's in there. So this fall I'm gonna take archery, and next year I'm gonna do the field and track. And I realized for me, I'm probably never gonna fold my clothes up unless I hire somebody to come and do it. That ain't gonna be my ministry. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the crazy things I see that I want to do. There's a
Mm.
walk I'm gonna go to, a 2K next week. I'm gonna go check and see what they talking about. I'm gonna see what they talking about.
Mhm.
Check them
Mhm.
out. So that's the ways that I'm demonstrating the things I want to do. I'm officially back to work. So I'm excited about that. And my doctor, my kidneys are good. My he said that in 3 months he'll see if I can get off the gout medicine, because I was gonna give myself a year, but he was like, we'll see about it.
Mhm.
And also my blood, he said that my lipedema, see, everybody's on this big kick, oh, got lipedema. Oh, it's such a thing. I think people like to wear their issues right up here on their shoulder like that ball. I
Mhm.
thought they was made up in the first place. But by looking at my, I mean, I really, even though my mama told me that my grandma, my uncle, and my great aunts had it, they were tall people. They just look big with a little puffy on the legs. But
Mhm.
my doctor said this lymphedema that you have doesn't bother you. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't do anything. And he knew that from looking at my blood work. I
Mhm.
even told him, I said, my jaw my teeth kind of hurt. He said, a lot of reasons that your mouth hurts, but you don't have an infection. Because if you did, it'd
Mhm.
be sure. He broke that thing right on down. Okay.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
see, what I'm saying is when you're working with your obesity, everything about you ain't bad. And you
Right.
got to focus on knowing that you're a human being whose body wants to fix itself.
Mhm.
And even though I'm supposed to be drinking 2 gallons of water, I try my best. I put that gallon right here next to my bed, baby. But the fact that I tried, I didn't even get through the one, but I tried my best. All these
Mhm.
3 months, my kidneys are normal, and for
Mhm.
6 months, the doctor said, "Drink more water, drink more water." So
Mhm.
that shows you, even when you fail your personal goal, you're still doing fine.
Yes. Yeah.
And I
Yes.
just love that for me. I just love that for me. And I can wear the t-shirt they gave me was a size 3X. And
Mhm.
somebody else brought me some clothes over here. I had on a 26, 28 dress yesterday, Monday. I'm like, who is this girl? Who is this girl?
Ah. Oh.
So I don't know what to say to you, but and it's not even a bother. The first step that you taught us to is to believe that I can do it. And when I was first started, I used to fall asleep while doing your class because I'm like, I don't know what this lady talking about. But what I realized in my pain, the things that caused me trauma and all of that, I said, don't nobody care. And when I went home, it was okay that they didn't care. They ain't never cared. They ain't gonna care. And it was and I wasn't mad about it. I
Mhm.
was just like, people are just gonna be who they are. So when you really put your big girl panties on and say, I want to fix myself, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna still love just the same.
Mhm. Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
and I just love that.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean that people don't love you.
Right.
You know, Jesus did what, died on the cross. We don't think that's enough. You
Mhm.
know, nobody can satisfy you but you.
That is so so true. That is
And
so so true.
this quest, I'm talking about these people. A lot of the men, they'll just say, "Well, keep up the work," or they'll give me a tip, and then I get mad. Don't be giving me no tip about what to do. But they are desperate. They're watching me. They're desperate, like me.
Mhm.
They got to know they have hope. And people are saying they want, oh, I wish I had somebody like that. You're not going to get blessed if you don't leave your house. Somebody
Right.
sent me some tennis shoes today. Somebody left some tennis shoes on the porch. Somebody went shopping for me and bought me a lot of stuff twice last week. The people paid for my keys to be fixed. I mean, just, you're not going to be blessed unless you leave the house.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's all it is to it. If you have a
Mhm.
home care worker, your home care worker can go with you to exercise class.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's just got to be the first step.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and you can't sit up here and watch me and not work on yourself.
Yep.
Cause
Yep.
ain't nobody fat as me. Nobody. So now what we gonna do?
Mhm.
You gotta believe that's step number one in everything Michelle teaches. And you're not gonna always struggle with your weight. If
Yes.
you tell yourself that, then you're not helping yourself to heal,
Right.
because people like us are special. Michelle says we're special. And that's why if I miss a Monday, my friend passed away, I missed a class. I won't miss a class because I'm showing up for me. And it's free. Now, if you really can't do things free and you need to pay, you can cash out Michelle for the class. Hey, because some people just can't do things that are free.
Right.
So, but
Right.
Michelle has her book. It's called Leaving Large. She has her writing class, and she has her 52-week class. And she also does one-on-one consultations where she'll give you an affirmation to help you get through.
It's true.
I have my song, I have my poetry, and I have my Alexa, honey. And that really calms me down every day.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
have my dreams. I can't fool with Colombia because they over there kidnapping folks from Houston. Uh, Colombia, we sorry, we ain't gonna be there. But I
Right.
holler at your Africans. I'm coming to see my Zulu warriors. I'm coming to Kenya. I'm coming to Liberia. I'm coming to see about you. I'm coming to
Yeah,
DC. Also, oh,
that's right.
Michelle. Okay, and the other good news is I received a scholarship to attend the Obesity Action Coalition conference in July. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, yes. And you know what, Deborah, and you may want to just put the link
Yes.
for other people to register
Yes,
on
I
your
will.
page or
Yes.
anybody else who just might, because it's actually very affordable, right? It's
Yes, it
very
is.
affordable.
Yes.
And if there are people in the DC area that want to
Yes.
come, they don't have to
Yes.
fly in or do a hotel because
Yes.
so that might be really a good resource.
Yes,
A good
definitely. I was
resource
looking for the logo that I could copy and paste, so I'll do that this weekend. That sounds good. And
because they do
yes.
really good work.
Oh
They
yeah.
do really, really good work.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about it. Michelle, you're here because you are a subject matter expert. Not only, you know how, not only are you a proponent of healthy releasing of extra weight, but you are also a customer. You know how the people say about the hair roof? I'm not only do I do the advertising for Rogaine, but I'm a customer too. And for someone who has lost over 700 pounds in her life, share with us before we wrap up, what is it that you want the person to know who feels desperate? Some people have even lost 50 and 100 pounds, but they're still desperate because they don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. What the most important thing I think for people to understand and to know, whether you lost weight and you gained it back,
Yes.
right? Whether you've lost it and you're just trying to hold on, or you can't, you feel like you can't lose it, is to really get to this understanding that you're gonna have to start to think about this journey differently. You got to think about it differently because the way that we have been marketed to, the way that we have been socialized to think about losing weight isn't what it really is. And here is what I really want people to know. I have done the research, and 75% of people say that they are emotional eaters.
Mm-hmm.
That's 75%. Well, here's the truth. The other 25% are emotional eaters too. They just don't know it. But let's just deal with the 75 that say I'm an emotional eater, right? And that means generally that I'm eating not because of hunger, but I'm eating because of some emotion, whether it's frustration or anxiety or stress or fear or boredom or loneliness for some reason. And it's way more than that, or else it wouldn't be 75% because that's just those emotions I just named on one hand. But there's this recognition 75%, I'm an emotional eater. Then over here on this hand, we have all the solutions. So the solutions are medication, the solutions are surgery, the solutions are a diet plan, this program, the diet cookie, the diet shake, that, right? Keto, none of those solutions can solve what the real problem is. So if you are struggling, I want that understanding to settle with you. If your problem is emotional, the food solutions will never solve that problem because the only problem that food, whether it's real food, fake food, junk food, processed food, the only problem it will solve is hunger.
Yes.
And they have got us believing that these food solutions are the way to go, and they
Yes.
are not. The way
Yes.
to go to to lean into the emotion.
Yes.
When you figure out what the emotion is, when you address the emotion, when you identify the emotion, when you learn how to navigate the emotion, if you are an emotional eater, then the need to eat goes away if
Yes.
you know how to deal with the emotion. And that
Yes.
is the thing that Deborah Ann, you learn to do, you are learning to do, because we're always
Yes.
learning to do it. I'm still learning to
Yes.
do it myself, right? Still, 'cause stuff always pops up. I mean, that's what life is. Life is moving through one emotion upon another. We're always in some kind of emotional state. That's living. That's living.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are struggling, if you are desperate, what I want you to understand is that the system isn't set up to support you in your desperation because it is giving you solutions that do not fit what the problem really is. The problem
Yes.
is really emotion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you that. They don't talk to you like that. They just
Mm.
say, and I do say this. I say, get some sleep, drink some water, eat nutritiously. Yes, I do say that. But I don't say that without giving you tools to deal with the emotion first. Because when you deal with the emotion, it frees you up to do those other things. The reason that it is so hard to do the things that you have been told to do, that you want to do, that you heard, eat smaller portions, cut out the sugar, cut out the fat, cut out the bread, cut whatever, drink more water. The reason it is so hard to do those things is because you have not dealt with the emotion.
Yes.
When you deal with the emotion and change your mind, change your belief system, then your habits will change automatically. Your
Yes.
body follows your belief. If
Yes.
you just start looking at what you're thinking, if you if you know I have people that I coach that say, I might say, how are you doing? And you mentioned it earlier, Deborah, and I hear, oh, the struggle is real, right? And so is yeah, as long as you say the struggle is real,
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
real.
struggle, it's gonna be hard. But if
Yes.
I say how you're doing and what you say to me is the victory is real,
That's right.
you just shifted your energy with those words. It's the
Yes.
same work. It is the same work. But
Words. Yes.
what's different is your words and your thoughts about the work.
Yes.
When you approach this transformation, when you approach what it is that you want for your body and your life with victory in mind rather than struggle in mind, you are more likely to do it. It
Yes.
makes you want to do it because you know, who wants to struggle? Who wants to fight? Who wants to battle? Who
Yeah.
wants to do something hard? Nobody. That's why
And
you don't do
Michelle,
it.
let me share this with you also. What I appreciate about our class is because Michelle and some of the other ladies literally said that they went and got a can of beans and opened them up, put some seasoning on them, and ate them. So all of the pretty little food prep containers look real good. I just bought some glass containers myself. But when I realized that it is perfectly okay to eat me a can of beans and I had some turkey or I had some salad. I might not have had no meat. I might just have beans and salad. I said, I'll make this salad and maybe some nuts. I just got through eating some walnuts and almonds. I said, okay, well, let me eat these beans. I opened up a can of green beans and ate them. I said, cold, because it's nutrition. It don't have to be a food prep container. I don't have to have a food prep container. I don't have to have all the stuff. Nutrition is nutrition. And when I can stop feeling unloved and victimized by whatever happened to me and say, well, what does my body want to eat? My body wants some water and my body wants some beans. I like beans. I like green beans. I like that. I love a salad, And sometimes I can't eat my salad all the time. I just eat half of it for lunch, half of it for dinner, half of it for breakfast. When I realize I can eat green beans for breakfast, green beans for lunch, and green beans for dinner.
Hmm.
When I realize that I can eat when my body says get some food, and I can stop when my body says stop, separate from how I feel about what happened to me, how I was treated, how I was disrespected, all of that stuff. I put those things in its proper place.
Mhm.
And I said, well, you know what? Okay, well, okay. I address it or I don't address it and I keep moving.
Right.
Because it doesn't mean I'm not loved. It doesn't mean I'm not worthy. Sometimes things just happen.
Yep. Yep.
And I speak up where I can, but at the same time, some things I've also learned to do is stop commenting on conversations. Just stop talking.
Mhm.
Now I'm not that good right now because everybody who say something bad in my chat, I say yo mama. But hey, you gonna get what you get. But I'm telling you, when you separate, when you put into place that emotion, if you need some extra help with that, like if you can go to counseling for something, go on. But when you get through going to counseling, you still gonna have to say, look, it's not true. What the negative thing you think about yourself is not true.
Mhm.
So you've got to decide that you're ready to put your big girl panties on. And let's
Mhm.
get down to let's heal. It's okay. We're gonna forgive them, and that don't mean you gotta interact with them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the best thing that you might find is to sit out on the patio, sit on the deck, get some sunshine,
Mhm.
get you a cup of
Mhm.
water, and
Mhm.
open up some green beans, child. You fed now. You fed. Get yourself get when you realize that, or if you
Yeah.
cook, when you realize that, you're gonna be free.
Yep. 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 Yeah. You are so right about that. Yeah. In fact, Deborah, for lunch yesterday, that's what I had. I had a can of garbanzo beans, a
Mm-hmm.
chickpea, can of chickpeas.
Yeah.
Open, open them right up. Put some hot sauce on them. You know what? I think I did take them out the can and put them in the microwave. But that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
yeah,
gotta figure out how to make hummus. I got a lot of beans because I bought some hummus. It was good with some small mini peppers. I didn't cook the peppers. I just ate them.
yeah.
It's food.
You know,
I ate
you
them.
can put them put it in a put it in a blender.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
And make
put
them
it put
mess you up. Okay.
yeah, put it in a blender with with some spices. I mean, you can use Google a hummus recipe. I mean,
Yes, I'll do
you
it.
can
I'll do it.
do that with any kind of bean. You can make into some that a bean
Mm-hmm.
spread or a bean dip. However you want to do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't have to be a whole big production. It does not.
Exactly. And I
So this has
think
been
that
lovely. Good.
yeah, what makes you this is another thing people need to know. When you eat real food, your brain recognizes real food, and what makes our brain help us to make decisions is when it's being nourished and it's being adequately hydrated. Sometimes we feel bad because we need to drink a little bit more water, and we need to make sure that our body can operate with good water inside of it. Sometimes we
Absolutely.
can't think straight because we're eating poor food that the body doesn't recognize, so it doesn't help us to create brain cells and movements, the white blood cells and all that kind of stuff. Those little bitty tips will help you to free yourself from my mind used to race all the time. I
Mhm.
mean, just I am stressed about every single thing ever. I'm stressed about
Mhm.
all of the above. And I'm
Mhm.
getting better and better and better and better.
Mhm. Mhm. And it is. You are so right about the food. I mean, if you're watching, Google it yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
it will show you the definition of food. It will tell you nutrition, nourishment, uh, energy, but
Energy,
also
yes.
promote brain health. The
Yes.
food promotes brain health, right? It promotes cognition, performance, productivity, proficiency, cell growth, right?
Yes.
All body functions. So
Yeah.
that right there, when you look at it, you have to look and see if eating this will help my body do that. And I am telling you
Mm-hmm.
that the processed food, the candy, the sugar, the chips, the crackers, all that stuff does not do that. It does
Yes.
not encourage your body to heal itself. It does
Yes,
not encourage your brain to function at a higher level. All
exactly.
that stuff actually slows it down, impedes it,
Yes, yes.
because
And
your body, your brain doesn't recognize it as food. It thinks of it as drug.
yes. And Michelle, the other thing, and I can tell you this, I'm bone on bone. Do you know my doctor told me last November that the more I lose weight, the longer the knee pain medicine will stay in my body. And I was supposed to have a knee shot in March, and they didn't have it in. They said, we'll call you when it's in. It's almost June, and I've not
Hmm.
had a knee shot. And today I was down on my knees in training, crawling on my knees.
Mm.
I'm bone on bone. No matter
Mm.
whether you're bone on bone, whatever is ailing you, no matter if you don't have any pain, if you want to get rid of anxiety, depression, and just being retarded in your wellness journey, the answer is sun and moving.
Hmm.
Moving. There is
Yes.
no such a thing as you're moving and don't feel good.
Yep.
I can stay up all night. If I'm up all night, I won't go exercise until later because I'm sleepy. But if I'm up at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4:30, I'm getting out of this bed at 6:45. That's the latest I can stay in the bed before the van come get me at 7:30, and I'm going to exercise. That's what it is.
Hmm.
My body feels good doing it. My body loves it. There's never ever a day that I say I don't feel like going.
Yep.
The only
Yep.
reason I don't go if I stay up all night long, all night, is because I have narcolepsy, and all I would do is fall asleep. So I need to sleep a little bit longer and go at 12 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. So thank you, Michelle.
Well,
For though I
uh,
have to say this because TLC, they not too proud to beg. I'm not too proud to say I was desperate. And I am desperate right now. And I thank you for talking to us because you look like me. That also helped me. But Michelle helps Hispanic women, European women, Asian women, and African American women, and African women also. So I love that you're here. I love that you take your time out. I love that you wrote the book Leaving Large. And so in the description, you'll see her TED Talk and you'll see her website. Join us, Women Working Together to Lose Weight, on Facebook. Join us Monday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern for 1 hour. Join us. Read her book. Listen to her TED Talk. Come on the Facebook group and talk to us. Watch her on Instagram.
yeah,
Get yourself some support.
because
No
we're here.
judgment, no blaming, only support to help you.
That's it. That's it.
And then peace and hair
Fine.
grease.
We'll see you Monday.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Deborah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.